I also would like to allude to the speech given by President Obama a few days ago. President Obama, if you remember last week, many people, many Muslim leaders challenged President Obama to come out and condemn the crime that took place in North Carolina, in Chapel Hill, Carolina. For his credit, he came out. He did condemn the attack. He did show sympathy to the family of these victims. He did show support to the Muslim community. He did say that some Muslims in this country feel intimidated and afraid, and they should not feel that way. He did say that all people, regardless of their faith or color, in this country should feel safe. No one should feel intimidated or threatened because of their faith or because of the way they look or for who they are. So we commend the President for these words. And he also spoke about a letter he received from a young female Muslim who is only 11 years old. Her name is Sabrina, in which she sent him a Valentine greeting. And in her letter, she addressed the President, telling him that many Muslims in this country feel intimidated. They don't feel safe anymore. And again, the President was very clear in his message that no one in this country, no minority, including Muslims, should feel intimidated and feared. This past week, there have been some unpleasant incidents that took place in this country, particularly here in Michigan, in Kroger, where one Muslim brother was attacked by two individuals only because he is Muslim. Only because he is Muslim, he was brutally attacked. Another person in Southfield, he stabs two individuals presuming they are Muslims. And by the way, they were not Muslims. He attacked and stabbed two individuals, innocent individuals, in Southfield on the notion that they are Muslims. It seems that things are going out of control. On social media, there has been this very vicious campaign against Muslims. I read you what some people said. Some non-Muslim individuals said on Facebook and Twitter. One guy, white American, his name is Chris Qazwini. He says, I give up on deer this year. He's not going to hunt deers anymore. I give up on deer this year. I think Muslims would be easier to hunt anyway. That's a very provocative, insulting statement. Indeed, no normal person would say something like that. Only a madman would say something like this. Let me take one step further. I would say only a terrorist would say something like that. Normal people would not say this. They cannot cite freedom of speech to incite hatred against Muslims in this country. As anti-Semitic is not welcomed in this country, as anti-Semitism is not tolerated in this society, I believe this society, this country should not tolerate Islamophobia. And they should not tolerate these kind of comments that are degrading toward Muslims and disrespectful. this person is, who think he is, who he is, to say something like this, to intimidate 6 million Muslims who all are peaceful and hardworking people, people who work for the betterment of this country, people who contribute to the advancement of this country, people who are considered part and parcels of this society, people who are considered a major part of the fabric of this nation. So America should condemn these voices. We Muslims should not be intimidated by these voices. There is another blogger. His name is J. Bones. He says, this is what he says, that's very disturbing. And I hope CNN would listen to this. I hope Fox News would listen to this. I hope they hear these hateful messages against Muslims. He says we should start burning Dearborn, Michigan to the ground. Isn't that intimidation? Isn't that a conspicuous form of terrorism? Someone is threatening to burn down Dearborn simply because Dearborn has the largest Muslim concentration in the United States. Why Fox News does not speak about that? Why CNN does not speak about this kind of bigotry and racism that we have in this country? All Fox News does, it incites Americans against Islam. It makes derogatory comments about our religion. It keeps mentioning the word Muslim terrorist, Islamist terrorist. There is no room for terrorism in Islam or any other religion. This is what the president said exactly a few days ago, that terrorism knows no religion. People can be terrorists, but religions cannot be terrorists, nor they would promote terrorism. My dear brothers and sisters, do you know that every year in this country, for the last few years, the anti-Islamic forces, the pro-Islamophobia forces in this country, they spend $57 million every year to incite hatred against Islam in this country. They spend $57 million to spread hatred against Islam in this country. $57 million. This is the money that's spent on an Islamophobia campaign, anti-Islam campaign. The money that is supposed to be spent on poor and the needy and on health care is being spent as poisoning the minds of over 300 million Americans about Islam. Is that fair? Where are anti-terror laws? Where is the Homeland Security? Why they see all these acts and they allow and they tolerate these voices and these comments to divide our nation and to divide our country? Enough is enough. We Muslims should not be intimidated. We need to be strong, and we need to tell American people that we are as American as you are. And we have the same amount of rights as any American individual has. And we are not afraid to say, yes, we are Americans, but we are Muslims too. And we are proud of our Muslim identity.